Okay. All right. I'm just going to shift you so everybody can hear, but I think we got it.
Uh-oh.
Scary. All right. So, how are you?
Could be better, could be worse. Such is life. How you doing? I think we did this once before.
Yeah, well, we had to start over because, like, nobody could hear. And
Oh.
now I'm recording, so, like, everybody can hear our conversation. I guess I should have told you that, so don't say anything you wouldn't say on a recorded line. Now it's...
You're recording the recorded line?
I'm recording the recorded line, so we're good.
Uh-oh.
We're double recorded.
Now we're in trouble. I just got to teach Susan to do it.
If we could teach Susan how to do it, that would be pretty awesome, but this might be a little beyond her. Love you, Susan.
Yeah, we tried.
We tried.
Figure it out. You know, I'm no help in that department, but yeah, she tried, I guess, would be a better accurate statement.
All right, so what's going on? Like, what's new in jail?
Well, we got some new people. Some people got out, but they can consistently rotate them.
So what stupid things are people in there for now?
I don't know. I haven't talked to the new guys yet. Kind of takes a little while.
Yeah.
But yeah, the one guy. It's always kind of funny when somebody new comes in jail. What they do is they tell them that they have to go get their mattress stamped. And it's just BS, just to mess with the new guy. So I had this one guy came in last night. He got his mattress stamped.
What do you mean his mattress stamped?
It's just a joke. They like, I don't know, the guards play along with it and they stamp it with like a received stamp. So you're like telling them, hey, have you had your mattress stamped yet? And they're like, no. What's that? And you're like, oh, dude, if they do an inspection and you don't have your mattress stamped, you're going to be in trouble. You better go get your mattress stamped. So they take their mattress up to the guard in front of everybody, you know. And
so they literally carry it like through the jail?
Yeah, well, you got to understand the mattresses aren't really all that heavy. They're kind of like, you know, like those, what do they call them? Those little mattresses that people use in their dugout bags.
Okay.
They're about
it's like a foam roll.
As thick as that.
Okay. Like a foam roll.
Yeah, I don't know what that is exactly, but yeah, like the little mattresses that can go in a backpack.
Okay.
Yeah, there's like twice the size of that, so it's not really all that hard to carry it. And, you know, you're in a pretty good sized pod, but the guy last night, they had him all scared. Because he walked in, the guards were in a different area, or people were like, woo! So he's like, hey, we can wait here, we can wait outside. He's like, can we wait outside? So then he went outside and waited and came back in. So we knew that it was his first time, so of course they had to get him to get his mattress stamped. Getting a lot of first timers here recently.
So I have to ask, because I know everybody wants to know, what did you eat today? Because it's Saturday. Today's the day you eat like whatever you want, right?
Yeah, I get to eat more today. I come off my minimalist diet. Well, the power was out this morning, so slept in. I was planning on getting up early so I could eat more, but no. So, you know, those little packets of instant oatmeal that you get?
Okay.
One of those things with a Nutrigrain bar. But I gotta say, I'm not a very big fan of the Nutrigrain bar. Not very tasty. But anyways, and then 2 cups of coffee instead of just 1. And then for lunch, mackerel. They give you mackerel, well, you have to buy it, but you buy a mackerel in a package. And then they also sell a big pickle. So I cut up the pickle with my spork and then
Is it like the same spork that you used to get in middle school to eat with? Like, they would give it to you with everything, like your salad and everything else. You got the little half spoon, half fork thing?
I don't know. I think you're younger than me because we never had those in school. The only place that we had the spork was at KFC.
Okay.
And yeah, they are like the ones at KFC, just more heavy duty.
I don't eat at KFC, so I'm not really sure about that reference.
Oh, okay. Well,
Because
so
they
for those
like
who did,
serve. Okay. Weren't they like the first restaurant to adopt Bill Gates' uh, Beyond Chicken shit grown in a lab or whatever?
really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they don't serve real meat there. I'll have to Google that, but I wouldn't touch their food with a 10-foot pole. And
Oh,
here you
well,
are concerned
it,
about jail food. Let's talk about like everybody else's food that's poisoned on the outside.
yeah,
You're gonna
everybody
make
thinks that.
everybody paranoid about their food by the time we're all done with this. So so since I've got it recording live, why don't you tell everybody why you are so against jail food? Because I tried to sum it up with what they put in the jail in, I think it was Canyon County, or what you thought they were going to put in the food. Can we get it in your words?
Well,
Like,
I don't know exactly what this stuff was. Okay, but Canyon County's been sued at least 3 times, to the best of my knowledge, and that was 20 years ago when I knew this.
so they actually got
So,
sued over it.
yeah, the ACLU sued them 3 times, and one of the times I was the one who actually put the crap in the cream of wheat. And people would say that there was something wrong with the cream of wheat. I'd be like, oh, there's nothing wrong with the cream of wheat. I'm the one who puts it together. I wouldn't put anything bad in there. But if you looked at the pictures that were in the lawsuit, I did put the crap in there. I just didn't know that it was bad. Because it was just the container that it was part of the recipe. So I put it in there. And some people say it was saltpeter, but I don't know exactly what it was. I just know that I remember seeing it in the pictures in the lawsuit, and I was like, oh, crap, I was the one who put that crap in there. And I was guaranteeing everybody, just as prevalent as some people are now, just as devout. No, there's nothing in the food. And, yeah, there was. So I'm always afraid of what they're putting in it. And let's just say for a moment that they're not putting anything in the food. You do understand that they take the lowest bid possible for the food contract. And since it's inmates, nobody cares if inmates get crap food.
Right.
So, you should see some of the food that they have in here. It's just disgusting.
Well, it's okay. We're never going to see it because they don't let you guys have cameras yet.
Huh?
Right? You're not allowed to have a camera, so we're never going to see it?
Oh, no, you're not allowed to have a camera in here. Holy heck.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Like, don't worry. The general public is never going to see it. Because inmates aren't allowed to have cameras.
Yeah. Well, and tonight's dinner was probably the best looking dinner, and it's one of those chicken patties that are I don't know, a quarter to 3/8 inch thick, with breading on it. It's kind of mystery meat.
Right. So it's like the chicken nugget material.
Yeah, but thinner, half the size of a chicken nugget and round. So that it goes on, we go on a hamburger bun, but you don't get hamburger buns. You just have regular bread.
Okay.
And I have a friend that her husband, I guess, works for the company or something that supplies her, and she was like, "Oh, they don't do nothing to it." But I gotta say that how would she know? Her husband, who works for him, may not even know. And then there's a guy in here that he worked for the company. The direct company, he was in the ordering department. He's the one who satisfied the contracts for the company that provides the food to Ada County and to several other jails. And he said, yes, you find the cheapest crap out there, and it doesn't matter nutritional value. It doesn't matter, like McDonald's had that big thing that, other restaurants did it, but McDonald's was the last one to stop using the stuff that's supposed to be used for dog food, unless it goes through a chemical bath. And see, there's
they actually use something that's used for dog food at McDonald's?
Yeah, it's meat that was, if they didn't put it through this chemical bath, it could only be used for dog food. Okay, but since they put it through this chemical bath, it now becomes good for human consumption again. And McDonald's was the last fast food restaurant to stop using it. And so it made the news when McDonald's was the only one still doing it.
Okay, I haven't eaten at McDonald's in over 30 years. So, yeah. I'm kind of safe there, but I don't know. I can't believe that people actually still eat there.
Well, other restaurants did it too. It's just that everybody else had voluntarily went away from it. And McDonald's was the last one to do it. And then it got on the news about how McDonald's is serving you dog food and this, that, and the other. So they got the news about it. But other restaurants, fast food restaurants, were doing it too. Just like McDonald's, their hamburgers are like 50% fat, 50% beef. So like you get a quarter pounder from Burger King. Burger King's like 80-20. And McDonald's is 50-50. So if you notice that the same quarter pounder from Burger King is somehow a lot bigger than the quarter pounder from McDonald's. Well, that's because McDonald's, 50% of that quarter of a pound is fat. So it cooks away on the grill. So, yeah. But anyway, so basically here, you don't get a choice. You know, it's not like you say, oh, you know what, I don't, I want to eat from Burger King today, not McDonald's. Unless you do commissary. I mean, commissary is really not all that healthy for you either. It's really processed food. But, at least you know that it's processed and it's not necessarily the, crappiest food out there. Like ramen, you buy at the store, same kind of stuff, except in here it's $1.09 before taxes.
Okay, but like ramen isn't food.
Well,
sorry, the dogs
they
have like bones, so I hope this isn't like too loud on the audio. I said the dogs have bones, so I hope it's not too loud because they're just back there chewing away. Okay, so I had this dilemma the other day. I went to the store and I'm like pretty cautious about the food that I buy. But I went to go buy some oranges and they said they were from Africa. And I instantly freaked out because, I drive Uber, right? Or I used to. And a year ago, I had somebody in my car he was here harvesting barley for some experiment for Bill Gates. And this guy was telling me how in Africa, they actually grow the fruit with hormones in it to stop people from having babies. Like, it's a form of birth control. They put it in the fruit. And so, when I saw the fruit that was, from Africa, the first thing I thought was, God, what did Bill Gates put in this and then have it shipped to America? What kind of, I don't know. I can't even, nothing's safe anymore. It's all poison.
It used to be illegal, and I don't know who came up with this law. It just doesn't seem to make business sense to me. But it used to be illegal to send chickens to China to be butchered and processed and sent back. Then they lifted that law, so now they're sending chickens to China on big old boats, sending them to China to be processed just to be brought back to the United States. How in the world does that make business sense?
Well,
to me, it just doesn't. It's like, what the heck? How does that? I mean, you're going to have some loss on the boat.
Well, obviously, and aren't they going to get sick on the boat?
Quite possibly, and if they do get sick, then they all get sick. And even if they don't get sick, just by the traveling, there's going to be some loss.
Right.
I mean,
chickens aren't designed to live on the ocean? Is that what you're saying?
And then just in general, that takes a lot of gas. You can take it from the United States or diesel or whatever. That takes a lot of energy to take it from the United States to China just to bring it back to the United States. So what's going on there? Chicken's cheap.
Right.
So how in the world? I don't get that either. But think about that, and that stuff's being sold in the stores. And what the jail ends up with is the crap that doesn't even make that. So you're getting the crap of the crap of the crap of the crap. So they have what I call slop most nights. And it's just kind of some runny stuff with sometimes some celery and some turkey pieces in it, no chunks. All of them are
it's ground up like baby food.
And then the bologna in here, it's funny because the other inmates are like, oh, it's not a big deal. It's just turkey bologna. But it looks all moldy and has weird rings and stuff in it. It does not look good. I'll tell you that. When I was fasting, the food they serve in here, boy, it made it easy to fast. because it's just some disgusting stuff that they put on a plate. I mean, whichever. But yeah, so that's it. A lot of the reason I don't eat jail food is because so I decided, all right, but I'm going to try to be a minimalist still with that.
All right, I messed up the recording for a second, so I got to step back. So you are going to be eating a little bit more because you know that everybody's pitching in, right?
Yeah, well, no, basically that's the only reason I even started eating commissary at all, is because basically everybody got together and raised money to make sure that I was eating or whatnot, so it would kind of be asshole-ish of me to not. Well, that, and like basically I argue with God sometimes, and that was one of our arguments, and kind of how he solves them is just like he has people come to me and talk shit to me, and it was kind of getting it from people out there, and I was getting it from other inmates even, like they were offering me their commissary, just so that I would eat. Please eat. I don't want to see you die. You're going to die. I can't believe that you haven't eaten in 4 days. I can't believe you haven't eaten in a week. And then I had commissary, but I wanted to do it for at least 10 days. So they were like, why don't you just eat here? I'll give you, my food and this, that, and the other. So I decided, okay, well, I'll go ahead and eat, but just the commissary stuff, and I'm still going to be a minimalist. I try to hit for about 2,000 calories a day, but it's 22,000 calories a day. Pretty much for the first meal of the day, which I don't get up for breakfast usually. So first meal of the day is kind of lunch for me, and that's ramen and a tortilla. And I make like a little tortilla with the ramen and a burrito with the ramen or whatnot. And then
I feel like my face might become a meme after listening to you talk about this because it just sounds disgusting. So I am curious. I know you've heard about Ammon's letter about pardoning people. Has anybody actually read you the letter?
No. And actually, I haven't heard. I heard that he put out a couple of videos about pardoning people, and we have talked about pardoning people, but like me and him personally have, but like I already put out a video about it, but I don't know the content.
Oh, well, here, let me fill you in. Okay, so, here it's, so, like, he puts out these, like, for immediate release, right? Kind of like, when Trump put out these statements, that's what it reminds me of. But anyways, so it's, the title of it is Ammon Bundy will pardon all COVID convictions. On March 25th, 2020, Governor Brad Little issued a statewide stay-at-home order, requesting Idaho sheriffs, city police chiefs, and Idaho State Police to enforce his lockdown order. Many Idahoans were arrested, jailed, and suffered through state prosecution. People like Sarah Brady are still being prosecuted by the state of Idaho today. What was her crime? Taking her children to the park. Christians were arrested for holding church services outside. Hundreds of concerned Idahoans were cited or arrested for attending public meetings without masks. Robert Jones is in jail today, wrongfully sentenced to 6 months for peacefully demonstrating on a public street against masking our children in schools. What was his crime? Pounding on a Home Depot bucket on a city sidewalk for less than 10 minutes? As governor, my pardoning pen will be red hot. As the head of the executive branch, I intend to check and balance the corruption and the political bias of the judicial branch. Sarah Brady will be pardoned along with many others. So, I interpret that as he intends to pardon you, because he intends to pardon everybody with COVID convictions. What are the chances you think he's going to win? Because I kind of did a video about that yesterday of what you told Melanie, so I'm just curious to hear it in your words. Like, where do you think we're headed if he doesn't win?
Well, like, okay. I think that Ammon has done a lot of work. Like when he first announced, I had a conversation with him. I was kind of hurt a little bit, to be honest with you. And I expressed that to him to the best of my ability. And he got it, but I thought he had maybe a 10% chance. Now I would say 40, 50% chance of winning. Kind of a toss-up. But I think that if he does have the votes, the fraud machine will come out. And that the powers that be won't let him win. That unless there's an overwhelming outpouring of people showing up that can beat this, kind of like Trump. I think the fraud machine wasn't ready. That so many people are going to vote for Trump because all the polls said that Trump was going to lose. So they're like, okay, well, we can do a little fraud here and there just for, good measure, but we don't need to bring out the whole thing to expose ourselves too much. But I think that it's quite possible that the fraud machine is going to stop him from being elected one way or the other. So, I encourage people to be poll watchers if they can. But if he wins, then the establishment's going to go into holy shit mode, and they're going to try to attack him. And, personally,
so
I wouldn't trust the IFB.
I don't believe that we're going to get past election night with him being ahead. I think we're going to see something similar. I mean, if he has the votes, and from what I'm hearing from the people working on the campaign, he's picked up significant momentum in the last 60 days. Significant.
Well,
which is good.
I think that I've been
people are
very
waking up.
open about that. I have friends on both sides of the aisle. I'm not just a Republican, and I'm not just a Democrat. I have flaming liberals that are really good friends of mine, and I have staunch conservatives that are really good friends of mine. Democrats, Republicans, half my damn family's Republican or Democrats, and I can say that a lot of those have went from Ammon's never going to win, to hey, when Ammon wins, can you ask him to do this?
Because you have pull over what he does as governor.
Right. Well, he's my friend,
just because you're friends with him, that's not how this works.
Well, I mean, at least he listens to me more than he does the average Joe.
Well, so, that's true.
Well, and
I think
he does it or not.
I think he will listen to the people, but I don't know.
But what I'm trying to get at though is that they went from that he's never going to win and just being, pissy that they're just going to get little again to, well, if he wins, then can you do this? So it's not that I can, Ammon is Ammon, and nobody can control Ammon. And that's the beauty of him.
Right.
But
that's kind of the beauty of you too. I mean, it's not just Ammon. It's somebody that is embracing the freedom that they have.
Yeah, well, but the point I'm trying to get at with that is that they went from that he'll never win to if he wins. So that, and I know several people that, there's few that are registering to vote just so they can vote for Ammon, even though they don't believe that he can win. So, if people think that, well, Ammon will never win, for one, who's a Democrat running?
Can I be honest with you?
Well, hopefully.
I don't freaking know. I'm not paying attention. And
okay. Neither do most Democrats. Therefore, this whole BS argument that people have, I haven't seen it very often, but I have seen it. This whole BS argument that, well, if we vote for Ammon, then the Democrat might get in. Shut up. The Democrats don't even know who's running as a Democrat.
Just let's be clear. I'm not a Democrat, so even though I don't know who's running, I'm not a Democrat.
Yeah, but I'm just saying that even yeah, well, okay, I didn't mean to apply it that way. I'm just saying the Democrats right now don't even know the Democrat running. So, my mother-in-law is a Democrat, and she doesn't know the Democrat that's running. And she's likely to vote for Ammon. Okay? So the whole argument, well, if we don't vote for Little, and we vote for Hammond, then your vote will be wasted, and the Democrat will win. It's just a total asinine argument at this point, because there's no way the Democrat's going to win. I can't remember her full name, Jordan, whatever. She had some momentum, and look how few votes she got. Okay, so voting for Hammond is not like voting for the Democrat, like some of these people say. Okay,
so what are your thoughts?
People should vote for Hammond just to basically tell Brad Little that they're not happy with him as a protest vote, if nothing else. The Democrats are not going to win.
Okay, side note, I have to tell you something really fast. So yesterday, there was somebody that was arrested by the name of Bradley J. Little for a DUI. And it was really funny for like a hot second because everybody thought that it was Brad. And of course it wasn't. It was like his clone or whatever. There's another guy that was born the same year that he was that lives up in Coeur d'Alene. But it was really exciting for a second when our governor may have been arrested for a DUI because I was thinking, well, maybe justice will be served and he'll go to jail. But it wasn't him.
It wouldn't have been anything.
I know, but you got to be hopeful for like 30 seconds. All right, so I have kind of like this theory right now. So I've been watching, I don't know. Okay, so I'm kind of watching, but I'm kind of staying back because I'm just over it. Everybody's throwing all this time and energy into election season when I know that the election system's dead. And until we have people that are fed up, I gotta watch how I'm saying this because we're on a double recorded line. Okay. So I know, and I've known for a long time, how jacked up the system is, right? Like, I mean, you've been fighting it for a long time. And so people are like, oh, it's going to be a red wave. And I had a guy tell me that in the coffee shop this morning, and I was like, the hell it is. And I kind of went off, and I feel kind of bad because I was in a public place, and I went off on him, and I was like, well, are you going to be poll watching? And he was like, well, no. And I'm like, then how do you think it's going to be a fair election? Like, if you really, truly believe it's going to be a red wave, are you aware of the corruption that there is? Like, are you aware that in the primary in May in Twin Falls, they kicked the poll watchers out and then continued to count after midnight, and then the results changed? People aren't aware of this crap. So I don't think that people are mad enough to influence change or to stand there and ensure a fair election when it comes to the counting at the polls, because in May, I mean, they just kicked the poll watchers out, they brought out more buckets of ballots, and they just kept counting. And this is in Twin Falls. This wasn't in Boise. Who knows, it could have happened in Boise, but I'm saying here, and here's kind of a weird area because we are like Rhino Central, but it's interesting because like in this area, we actually have Republicans for Ron Taylor, who's a Democrat. So like the Republicans are actually coming out publicly campaigning for the Democrats here. Okay. But then over in Boise, you've got kind of the same thing happening where the rhinos are coming out and supporting the Democrats. But in Ada County, it's a bad thing. Okay. Well, Ada County, it's a bad thing because it's the rhinos supporting the Democrats. But then in Twin Falls, you've got the conservative candidates and the conservative Republicans are actually running a campaign because the Democrat is not as bad as the Rhino Republican. It's like gender morphia, whatever the hell you call it, gender dysphoria has like totally infiltrated the party, and people don't know if they're a boy or a girl or a Republican or a Democrat or it's so mad. It's bad.
Maybe that's because all that stuff is crap. Because I can tell you that, like I said, half my family's Democrats, and I can tell you half of them, at least half of them, are more conservative than most of the Republicans I know.
Yeah, they don't even know. Like, nobody knows what they are anymore, and it's kind of terrifying. How
about we're not Democrats, we're not Republicans. How about fuck all the party system, and we're just people?
Right.
And Brad Little has stepped all over us. And so vote against Brad Little one way or the other. If you don't think there's any way that Ammon's going to win, fine. Why not vote for him?
Yeah,
just
vote for him
Brad
anyway.
Little that you're pissed off at him.
Yep, I agree with that.
I mean,
so anyways, I wanted to kind of circle back. So I kind of went off on this guy in the coffee shop this morning, and I felt kind of bad because I did drop an F-bomb or two because I was pissed. Like, this guy was like, 18 days, and I was like, dude, there's not going to be a red wave. There's not. And I said the only way that we're going to be able to save the state is if we can do like 3 things. And first, that's get rid of all federal funding, like period, the end. No federal funding in the state of Idaho. And secondly, remove all federal agencies. So like the ATF, the FBI, all of them, kick them the hell out. Don't let them in. If we kick them out and secure Idaho's borders to the feds and say we don't want you here, then we basically protect the citizens from the federal government putting us in jail for stupid shit, right?
Well, I mean, but at this point, honestly, within the state of Idaho, the state of Idaho has the highest per capita incarceration rate in a nation or a union that has the highest incarceration rate in the world. It's not just the feds. That would be a good start. But like, if Ammon wins, then I'll do something that I said I would likely never do, which is run for office, because we need to change the stupid laws that are on the books. Why are we infringing on so many people's rights? The Fourth Amendment, the Second Amendment. Our Constitution says the only guns that can be taken from people in Idaho are guns actually used in a felony. Why is Idaho State Police and our sheriffs taking guns from felons when those guns weren't used in a felony? It's against our Constitution. Well, what is the law?
No. Okay, so it's really frustrating me right now because everybody keeps referencing the current laws and we need to put more laws on the books. And I don't know if you saw, but the CDC voted. Shit, I'm losing track of days. I'm working too much right now. But they voted to add, I think it was a total of 18 new vaccinations to the childhood vaccine schedule to go to school. So now they're up to like 72 or 90 total when you count all the ones that are combined into one. And one of those is the COVID vaccine. And so people are talking about, well, we got to stop them from adding the COVID vaccine to the schedule. And I really like...
They need that immunity.
What?
They need that immunity. If Big Pharma is going to follow this depopulation plan, they need immunity from prosecution. So the CDC is ensuring that.
Okay, so right now they have immunity because it's currently an emergency use product. So anybody that takes it, yes, the one that is approved is not available to the public.
Yeah, but it is the reason that it's not generally put out there is and it's still under the emergency use, is when they add it to the childhood vaccine regimen or whatnot. Missy would definitely know a lot more about this than me. But once they add it on to there, then they become immune to it and they can force people to take it. And as far as I'm concerned, if you want the COVID vaccine, go get the damn thing. Do whatever you want.
Well, so here's my problem with it though, is it doesn't matter if it's the COVID vaccine or not. At this point, like, the line in the sand needs to be pushed back on the government, that the government, I don't care what the hell it is, I'm not putting it in my body if I don't want to. And so everybody's so hung up on this COVID shit that they slipped in all these other vaccinations on top of it. So we got to take it back to, like, way the hell back. All these laws that are on the books, half of them don't align with the Constitution to begin with.
And guess what? Ammon Bundy becoming the governor of Idaho will not be enough. He is not our savior.
Oh, I'm completely aware of that.
We the people have to actually start saying no and meaning it. Not no. Well, okay, if it's not too big of an issue, then I'll go ahead and, take it because I don't want to cause any ripples. That stuff's bullshit. People need to get over that. But how do you make somebody take a stand? You can't. They actually have to decide to do it themselves.
Right. And when they have to be affected.
Compliant.
They have to be affected.
I mean, I'm in jail, okay?
Right. For banging on a freaking bucket.
What? All these people in here are uber compliant. Like, they don't have mask mandates in here, but there's a rumor going around, just started at dinner, that someone might have COVID, and so guess what people are doing? They're throwing on masks.
Oh, my God.
The cloth mask, absolutely.
Are they made out of the inmates' underwear? Like, did they have to make them themselves, or how are they supplying
right.
them?
No, they're providing them. I guess I would assume as much, but they're made out
Okay,
of cloth.
hold on.
Yeah.
I have to ask.
These are the rebellious people in society, right? These are supposed to be the ones who, don't trust government. And I see right now, I can see 1, 2, 3 people that have masks on.
Wow.
And I think there's at least 3 others that had them on earlier. I'm not sure if they still do or not. Oh, no, 4. But yeah, so these guys are supposed to be the rebels, and this jail is like super compliant. These are the criminals that are compliant. I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but it seems like out of anybody, they should be the one rebelling to it. And standard people, but nobody does. Everybody just goes along with the system and just whatever, and that's our problem, is we just become complacency.
Wow.
The complacency is where we're at. And, we won't go anywhere until we can end that. Just won't happen.
So my conversation with the guy this morning was basically like the third thing, is Idaho has to become the free zone. And if we can't make the whole state become the free zone, the only next possible option that I can see us going down is little hippie communities that are basically like the free state of Jones. And we just start expanding the borders out and out and out as more people join. But we just become, within certain zones, we don't accept federal law. Like, we don't recognize it. And so...
Well, and it's just not that simple, though. There's so much more stuff that goes involved with it, that people haven't thought of it. When it comes down to it, think about it. If Idaho starts completely disobeying the feds and we start annexing other states, that's going to cause a war within the states. And then foreign powers are going to take advantage of that and come in here. And like I was talking to one of the inmates in here, if anything, I hope it's not China. I hope that if we're invaded, it's Russia. Because at least Russia has signaled that they won't come at the people as much. China could give a shit less about people. They're the People's Republic of China. And look at what they do to their people.
Well, but they're besties with Brad, so maybe we'd get, like, special treatment?
Yeah, I don't know, but it's
that was total sarcasm. Sorry. I know you can't see my face right now, but...
The thing is that, in my opinion, the only way we can do this peacefully and not put so much, like, the statistical likelihood of just going nut jobbish, the only way we can reduce that, really, any at all, is if we all just say no. We, the people, need to actually, act like we're free, and maybe just fake it until we make it. They say in different, programs and stuff that I've taken that you just, to stop a habit, you just need to stop it for 21 days. If you can change your habit for 21 days, you'll change it. So just practice saying no to anything that you want to say no to for 21 days. Just give it a shot. See how much freer you are in the end when you just say no.
Or I will not comply.
I don't know.
I said I will not comply.
Yeah, but people are so scared. I don't know. I don't know what the answer is, honestly. Now, if Ammon can actually, if the fraud machine doesn't get rid of him, and we can actually get Ammon in office, that'll give me more faith that we can do it through government. It won't give me that faith completely, but it'll give me more faith.
It'll,
you know.
So in my video the other night, I said, I think I was encouraging everybody that, because I'm a naysayer. I don't believe that there's any hope left. I don't see, our founders would have chose violence already. So I don't see how.
Or would they have? Because you got to understand, society was different then too. Because
well, society was very different. But I mean, okay, but the entire war was fought not to gain control over other people, but to stop other people from having control over us. Okay? So we're in a spot right now where if you look at the different things that have happened, I mean, our government it's crossed every freaking line. I mean, what line hasn't it crossed at this point? So, I mean, for goodness sakes, they've got Hunter Biden on almost 500 freaking charges of breaking the law. And what's happening to him? Not a goddamn thing. He's walking around like a free man. His dad's tripping upstairs, falling off bicycles, and is allegedly the leader of the country. And he doesn't even know where the fuck he is half the time. Sorry. Baby Cyrus, I hope you're not listening.
That's one of the problems too. Is he's not the leader of anything, really.
Well, yeah, he's a puppet.
Of the United States, which is not the leader. He's not. The president is not a leader. He's like a spokesman.
Right. Well, but people are referring to him as the leader. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know.
But he's not supposed to be. You gotta understand that in our form of government, the president is not supposed to have the power that he has. He's just simply not. The governor's not supposed to have the power that they have. It's just simply not.
So having said that, I mean, looking at some of, and I'm going to be a little controversial here, looking at some of the things Ammon is saying, do you think the things that he's running on are pushing the limits of what a governor should be able to do?
Well, me and him have talked a little bit about, if he does act outside of his story, then I might have to have a discussion with him. That I might be a little bit more critical. Our relationship may change a little bit.
But that's holding your friend accountable. It is. You would be doing your friend a disservice if you weren't being the normal, typical, blunt person that you are just because he ran and won.
Yeah, well, and he knows that, and that's what his retort to me was, well, I'd expect nothing less from you.
Right.
But the thing is that we need more than just a governor. But yes, there is a lot of things he can do, but he can't do it all. And if he can do it all, then the next governor can undo it all.
Right.
You have 1 minute remaining for this call.
I hate these, plugins. We have 1 minute. Okay.
Yeah.
You've got 90 seconds. Tell everybody what you want them to know about voting for Bundy or anything else.
Well, yeah, vote for Bundy and everything, but I just want to say I appreciate everybody who's out there supporting liberty and the fight here, the protest. I wish more people would join Maggie in the protest at the courthouse and at Diana's house. But even without that, I appreciate that the jail protest and everybody dressing up as this Robert Jones instead of that Robert Jones, and I appreciate the support for my family and everything, and I hope that, here pretty soon I could be out to help continue to fight for freedom, and that it won't end just because they put me in jail. If nothing else, it will expand, and this has been more, God's used this too. Watch, we're going to be stronger when I get out.
All right, I love it. We will be stronger.
You have exceeded the allowable time for this call. Goodbye.
Sorry, I guess I probably shouldn't flip off the camera, but I hate it when they cut you off. He's paying for that time. We should be able to talk longer. Thanks, everybody. If somebody wants to drop the details of Maggie's protest info down in the comments, that would be fantastic. And I guess submit your questions because I can't seem to be able to do this live, but I will be doing this, it looks like every Saturday night. And I'm going to try and figure out how to make it live so you guys can listen to Robert and ask questions and make it a little more fun. But I'm going to head back to work. So thanks everybody for watching, and I will talk to you later.